Imagine a place where hope is as rare as rain in a desert, life is tough, and survival is a daily challenge. In this part of the country, banks and corporations seem to drain every bit of life from the people, leaving only desperation in their wake. This story revolves around two brothers who are pushed to their limits, forced into drastic actions just to keep going. They're not bad people by nature, but their dire circumstances leave them with almost no other options but to take extreme measures. The two brothers are bound by family ties, yet their lives have taken very different paths. One brother has worked hard to live honestly within the system, striving to support his family and make a decent life. The other brother has led a more tumultuous life, often finding himself on the wrong side of the law. United by their familial bond, they come together and devise a plan that will profoundly change both of their lives. Unbeknownst to them, their actions are under scrutiny. A dedicated lawman who has spent his career chasing down criminals like them is determined to bring them to justice. This seasoned ranger nearing retirement is set in his ways and committed to solving this case. What unfolds is a high-stakes game of cat and mouse that will test the resolve and endurance of all three men involved. The story begins with the brothers, Toby and Tanner, reuniting after years apart due to a family tragedy. Their mother, who raised them in a harsh and unforgiving environment, has recently passed away. The family ranch, a place that has been a cornerstone of their lives for generations, is now at risk. The bank, showing no sympathy for their plight, is threatening to foreclose on the property. The brothers are confronted with an enormous debt and no obvious way out. Toby, the younger of the two, has lived a relatively quiet life. He's made his share of mistakes, but he's always tried to do right by his family. As a father, the thought of losing the family home, the one thing he hoped to pass down to his children, tears him apart. For Toby, the land represents all the sacrifices his family has made. Without it, his children's future looks bleak and uncertain. Tanner, in contrast, has frequently found himself on the wrong side of the law. His reckless behavior has landed him in trouble more than once. But when he learns about the family's situation, he feels a deep sense of loyalty to his brother and a strong urge to help, no matter the cost. Tanner's newfound commitment drives him to support Toby in their desperate situation. Despite his clean record, Toby comes up with a risky plan to rob banks in order to pay off their debts. His target isn't just any banks, but specifically those that are threatening to seize their family land. Toby's plan isn't about amassing wealth, it's a desperate measure for survival. He calculates that they only need a certain amount of money to clear the debts and protect their family's property from being taken by the bank. Tanner, with his criminal background, quickly agrees to the plan. To him, it represents one last thrill, a chance to experience excitement before his life changes once more. For Toby, the plan is about securing a future for his family. For Tanner, it's about living in the moment and seizing the opportunity to make a difference. They start by targeting small local branches in the early morning hours when they're nearly empty. They are careful not to take too much, just enough to manage the mortgage and ensure their family's financial stability. Their approach is swift and clean, ensuring no harm comes to anyone and leaving no trace of their identity. However, their activities soon attract the attention of law enforcement. On the other side of the story is Marcus, an experienced Texas Ranger nearing retirement. This case might be his final challenge. Marcus is shrewd, tough, and relentless, with a career full of encounters with desperate individuals trying to cling to something they've lost. Despite his understanding of their desperation, Marcus is determined to bring these criminals to justice. Marcus is partnered with Alberto, a younger and sharp-witted ranger who serves as both a trusted colleague and a friend. Their partnership is strong, even though Marcus holds on to some old-fashioned beliefs. Together, they begin piecing together the clues left behind after each bank robbery, working diligently to solve the case. Initially, the brothers' plan appears successful. They manage to stay ahead of law enforcement, avoiding excessive attention and maintaining a low profile. But as their heists become more audacious, Marcus starts closing in on them. He identifies a pattern in the robberies, noting that the same bank chain is targeted repeatedly. It becomes clear that there's a personal motive driving these crimes. As the brothers continue their spree, they find themselves entangled in a dangerous game of survival. The stakes are higher with each heist, and Toby begins to feel the crushing weight of their decisions. The money they've stolen has provided temporary relief, but it's clear that it has only complicated their lives further. Toby, who initially thought this plan was their only way out, starts to question its morality and effectiveness. He is increasingly worried about the potential consequences for his family, realizing that every step they take only seems to deepen their predicament. The pressure to succeed and the fear of failure are overwhelming. and Toby's anxiety grows with each passing day. Tanner, meanwhile, embraces the thrill of their criminal activities. The adrenaline rush and the sense of living on the edge are intoxicating for him. He's not just participating in the heists, he's reveling in them. Tanner's reckless nature makes him feel invincible even as the law inches closer. He sees their actions as a final adventure, a chance to make a mark before he settles into a quieter life. His attitude contrasts sharply with Toby's growing unease, creating a rift between the brothers. While Toby is consumed by worry and the desire to protect his family, Tanner is driven by excitement and a sense of rebellion. The tension between the brothers becomes palpable. Toby's frustration is evident as he struggles to reconcile his brother's reckless behavior with their dire situation. He begins to doubt their plan and fears that Tanner's thrill-seeking will jeopardize everything they've worked for. Tanner's nonchalance only exacerbates Toby's stress, leading to heated arguments and moments of deep personal conflict. This internal strife adds another layer of pressure, making their criminal endeavor not only a struggle against the law but also a battle within their own family. The weight of their choices becomes a burden too heavy for Toby, who is desperate to find a way out before it's too late. The final robbery is a desperate attempt to secure the last piece of their plan, but it proves to be the most perilous yet. The brothers' attempt to execute a high-stakes heist goes awry, and the tension escalates quickly. Tanner's impulsiveness during the job leads to unforeseen complications, and the once controlled operation spirals into chaos. The stakes are now higher than ever, as they face not only the risk of getting caught, but also the possibility of violence. The robbery that was meant to be their salvation becomes their most significant threat, putting everything they've fought for in jeopardy. Marcus and Alberto, who have been diligently tracking the brothers, are now prepared to confront them. Marcus's expertise and Alberto's sharp instincts are brought to the forefront as they set a trap for the brothers. The lawmen's meticulous planning and careful observations lead them to the scene of the robbery. The confrontation that follows is intense and fraught with danger. The brothers find themselves cornered, facing a law enforcement team that is determined to bring them to justice. The once quiet life they led is replaced by a high-stakes confrontation that tests their resolve and survival instincts. As the brothers flee from the bank, the landscape becomes a battleground. The chase through the unforgiving terrain highlights the desperation of their situation. Every step is fraught with danger, and their efforts to escape become increasingly frantic. The lawmen close in, using their knowledge of the terrain and their tactical advantage to gain ground. The brothers' escape plan, once well thought out, now seems to be unraveling. The harsh environment adds to their struggle, making their flight even more perilous. The chase reaches a critical point as the brothers realize that their options are running out. In the final confrontation, the brothers are pushed to their limits. The standoff at the ranch is marked by a sense of inevitability and desperation. Tanner, ever defiant and unwilling to surrender, takes a stand against the law. His determination to go out fighting contrasts sharply with Toby's internal conflict. Toby is torn between his desire to protect his family and the reality of their situation. The standoff becomes a tragic culmination of their choices, with Tanner's recklessness leading to a dramatic and fatal clash. Toby's hope for a peaceful resolution fades as the confrontation escalates. The clash between the brothers and the law is intense, with both sides facing significant risks. Marcus and Alberto, determined to end the chase, try to bring the situation to a resolution. But Tanner's actions make it clear that there will be no easy resolution. The final moments are filled with tension as the brothers face the consequences of their actions. The lawmen's professionalism and tactical skills are put to the test, and the confrontation reaches a devastating conclusion. The tragic end of the standoff underscores the high cost of their criminal endeavors and the harsh reality of their choices. In the aftermath of the confrontation, the consequences are stark and unforgiving. Tanner's fate is sealed as he meets a tragic end, a casualty of his reckless choices and the law's relentless pursuit. Toby, left alone and broken, faces the harsh reality of his actions. The family ranch, once a symbol of hope and heritage, is now a reminder of everything lost. The dream of a better future for his children is overshadowed by the high cost of their criminal activities. Toby's sense of self is deeply affected as he grapples with the loss of his brother and the fallout from their desperate actions. Toby's future is now uncertain, marked by a profound sense of loss and regret. The land may technically remain in his family's name, but the emotional and financial toll is immense. The system they tried so hard to fight has triumphed, leaving Toby with a shattered dream and a broken spirit. The reality of their choices becomes all too clear as the personal cost of their decisions outweighs any material gain. The struggle to save their family legacy ends in tragedy, illustrating the harsh and often unforgiving nature of their fight against a system that seemed invincible. Thanks for sticking with us through this journey. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to subscribe to Plot Pioneer for more incredible stories. Hit that notification bell so you never miss an upload. See you in the next one.